Hey Grand Park, hey yoga community. Welcome to your Yoga a la retreat. I hope that everyone is staying healthy and well, staying home if you can, and just a big thank you to all our healthcare workers that are working so hard right now. I really hope that we can get on track soon. But I'm really glad that we can also continue to practice yoga together during this really challenging time. So for the next few sessions together, I thought we could really focus on the functionality and really learning some of the postures. So I tend to teach a lot of the philosophy because I find it really interesting and helpful. And we always do postures, but I'd like us to focus on the asana, is what they're called, the physical postures, just to make sure that we're doing things safely, so that maybe you understand some of the benefits of doing certain postures. Today, we're going to be focusing on back bends. And back bends and heart opening is really great for creating energy in the body. They tend to kind of offer a really big flush. They also help us feel more open. They help our hearts to feel a little bit safer and secure to move throughout our day. So we'll focus on that and see how it goes. Let me know how you are in the comments. I'd really love to hear from some of you. So let's come to our comfortable seated posture. So you could come to sit up in a chair for this part if you like, or sitting down on the floor. Place your hands maybe on your thighs, maybe in your lap. Find a little lift of your heart, and then send your shoulders away from your ears. So really allowing the shoulders to settle down. And then from here, if it feels okay, go ahead and close your eyes. Let yourself come inside yourself. Notice the quality of your breath. And maybe start to deepen your breath just a little bit. So breathing in and out of your nose, matching the lengths of your inhales to the lengths of your exhales. And then just drawing some awareness to your back, particularly your upper back and your heart. Notice those areas, how they feel. Are they tight? Are they constricted? Are they tired? We're really going to work into these areas of the body today. So from here, go ahead and flutter your eyes open if they're closed. And we're going to start by just connecting some breath to movement and finding a little opening in the upper back and the heart. So fingertips are going to touch down to the earth. Shoulders are away from your ears. And then the next time you inhale, rise your arms tall to the sky. And then exhale, we'll bend the elbows, send your elbows out, find lift in your heart like you're a cactus. And then send your arms up on your inhale. And then tap your fingers down on your exhale. So we'll do that a few times. Inhale, reach your arms tall to the sky. Exhale, bend your elbows, open in your heart. Inhale, send your arms tall to the sky. And then exhale, tap your fingers down to the earth. 2 more times. Inhale, arms reach tall. Exhale, bend your elbows, open your heart. And then send your fingertips tall to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, tap your fingers down. Last one. Inhale, rise your arms tall. Exhale, bend your elbows, send your heart through. Inhale, rise your arms tall. And then exhale, tap your fingers down. So let's just come into a few shoulder rolls. So nothing fancy, just good old-fashioned shoulder rolls. So send your shoulders up and around and down your back. Moving at whatever pace feels good to you. Get some space around your neck. And then we'll switch the direction of the circle. So shoulders come up and around and down. Really nice. Let's find our way to hands and knees. So we'll start to come into our back bending. So wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are stacked underneath your hips, toes can be tucked or tops of the feet down. And then we'll follow the cycle of the breath. So on your inhale, let your belly drop, let your heart come through. So we're curving in the spine, sending the heart up to the ceiling. And then exhale, press into your knuckles, round in your upper back. Send your nose towards your belly button. Let the top of your head go. And then inhale, let the belly drop, let the heart rise. Exhale, curl everything up and in. 2 more times. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Find a neutral spine. This time we're going to take our cat-cows the opposite way. So we're going to imagine the right shoulder could touch the right hip, little contraction, and then send everything to center. Left shoulder goes to left hip. Everything comes back to center. 2 more times each side. So right shoulder, right hip. Find your way back to neutral. Left shoulder, left hip. Find your way back to center. Last round. Right shoulder, right hip. Find your way back to center. And then left shoulder, left hip. Find your way back to center. And then from here, just circling in your hips. So like you have a pencil on your tailbone and you were drawing circles behind you. Maybe the shoulders get involved. Maybe your head gets involved. And then we'll switch the circling the other way. From here, keep your knees where they are. Extend your arms out. So we'll find our way to puppy dog pose. So arms come in a big V. If you have a mat, the hands could even come off the mat. The heart is reaching for the floor. The armpits are hugging in. The knuckles are pressing down. So this is an active pose in the arms as we're getting a big stretch in the upper back. We're melting the heart down. Forehead is resting on something. So if not the floor, you could put a pillow underneath your forehead. From here, hands come underneath your shoulders, press yourself up. And then we'll just come into one more shoulder stretch before we get going. So left arm threads out to the side, and then left arm threads underneath your right arm, your right hand. The left temple comes down to the earth or a blanket or a pillow. And then maybe the hand stays underneath the shoulder. You could also reach it up and overhead. So whatever feels better and more stable in your body. We're getting a big stretch into the upper left shoulder. Send breath there if it's tight. And then if your arm is up and overhead, secure it underneath your right shoulder. Press into your right hand, lift yourself up, and then we'll switch to the other side. So the right arm threads out, right arm threads under, right temple, cheek, something comes to the mat. Left hand either stays underneath the left shoulder or the left arm can come up and overhead. Press gently into your left palm to spin your heart up to the sky. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. And then from here, press into your left hand, replace your right hand underneath your right shoulder. And then from here, we're gonna come to stand up on the knees. So if your knees are really sensitive, I actually have 2 mats to kind of double the padding for my knee. You could double up your mat. You could put a blanket underneath your knees, or if you don't need one, you don't need one. Come to stand up on your knees. We're gonna come into a little balance and a little heart opener here. So interlace your hands. Send your interlace away from the body. And then we're gonna come into rabbit pose. So with control, start to tap the top of your head down to the mat. And then the arms are up and overhead. So this does require some balance. If it's too much balance, you can tap your fingertips to the sides and just focus on balancing your head down. Imagine that you could even balance on the top of your head here. And then find space around your neck. So settle your shoulders away from your ears. Steady your gaze. Find a couple more breaths. On your next inhale, press into your knees. Rise yourself up. And then we'll make our way onto our stomachs. So finding yourself onto your belly. The hands are going to stack underneath your shoulders. The tops of the feet are going to press firmly down. So the elbows are bent, forehead taps down to earth. The hands are down kind of underneath, right by the ribs. From here, press down into your knuckles, press down into your toes. Rise your heart forward, send your elbows in. So we're coming in for Cobra Pose. Doesn't have to be a big pose. So elbows are in, heart is reaching forward and up, shoulders are melting away from your ears. Breath is filling into the shape. On your next exhale, tap everything down. Inhale, send your heart through, elbows are hugging into the body, heart is lifting, shoulders are away from ears, toes are pressing down. Find your breath. Exhale, tap your forehead down. One more round like that. Press into your knuckles, press into the tops of the toes. Send your heart forward and up. Elbows are hugging in. And then exhale, tap your forehead down. We're going to come into upward facing dog. For me, it's a little bit more comfortable to slide my hands down a little bit farther down my ribs. We're gonna lift up completely in the thighs. So just try, see what happens. Press down into your feet, press into your hands, and then reaching your heart forward, press into your hands to lift your thighs up here. So we're in a back bend, the shoulders are melting away from ears. If this is too much on your back, you don't have to do it. And then press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. So we're pressing down into the feet, we're lifting up in the thighs, the head is releasing. If you need to pedal your feet out in any way, you're welcome to do that. Let your head completely go. And then on your next inhale, leading with your heart, come forward to a plank. And then exhale, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 more times. Inhale, forward to a plank. Exhale, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to a plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands. Step your right foot for your right hand. Option to place the left knee down if you need support today, or keep the left knee up. You can walk your right foot way out to the right. We're staying up on the ball of the back foot, and we're finding our way up to a crescent lunge. So again, left knee can be down or up. Arms are stacked over the shoulders. And in the theme of practicing our back bends, we're going to exhale, send our heart up to the sky, elbows come out. Big wide chest. Find a couple breaths here. If your balance is not the best today, remember you can tap your left knee down. Find a steady gaze, maybe gazing up. On your next inhale, arms come tall to the sky. We'll add a twist. So left hand comes down to the floor, the mat. You can tap your back knee down if you need to. Right arm's reaching tall to the sky. Heart is reaching up for your extended right hand. You can also look down at the mat. On your next inhale, coming back through your crescent lunge, reaching your heart tall, and then exhale, hands come down, right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps for left hand. We're staying up on the ball of the back foot again. Really ground down into your feet. If you need space for your hips, left foot comes out to the left. Left knee is stacked over your left ankle, and then make your way up to your crescent lunge. That could be right knee down on the earth. We're gonna bend the elbows on our exhale, send our heart up towards the ceiling, like there was a little balloon string that was pulling the heart up. Find a couple beautiful breaths across your beautiful heart and chest. On your inhale, arms come tall to the sky. We'll add our twist. So right hand comes down, left arm comes up. Remember, right knee can tap down to the earth. Find space across your upper back and your chest. And then find your way back through to your crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come down. Left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Keep reaching your heart for your thighs. Let your head go. We're going to come through a version of what we just did again. So looking towards your hands, right foot steps for your right hand. This time we'll keep it really simple, just finding our crescent lunge. But see if you can, without bending the elbows, find that lift of your heart. Remember, left knee can be down. Little back bending in the upper back here. Settle the shoulders away from your ears. And then we'll add our twist here, but we'll do it standing. So left hand comes forward, right arm comes back, almost like you're gonna give someone a big hug. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale back up to crescent lunge. And then exhale, the hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward on your inhale. Again, if you need space, left foot to the left. Stay up on the ball of the back foot. Put as much bend in your back knee as you need. Rise yourself up, crescent lunge. Find that baby back bend lifting up in your heart. Maybe looking up towards the sky, softening the shoulders away from your ears. Right hand comes forward, left arm comes back. Find space across your heart, your chest. Right knee can tap down at any point. Inhale, back up, crescent lunge. Hands come down to the earth, downward facing dog. And then let's all find a child's pose. So knees come wide, big toes come together to touch. Sink your hips for your heels. You can always put a blanket or a pillow underneath your seat if your seat doesn't reach your heels. And then tap your forehead down on something. So if the forehead doesn't naturally touch, you can stack your fists. You can put a pillow underneath there. And then just let the body settle here. Let the heart melt for the earth. Regather control of your breath if you've lost it. And then option to stay and rest if you need more rest, or finding yourself back to hands and knees here. So from hands and knees, let's walk the right toes back. We're pressing into the right hand. Left arm extends long like you're gonna shake someone's hand. You're pressing into the knuckles, and then lift up through your inner right thigh. And then really amp up your heel. So like you're gonna stand on the back wall. If this is too much, you can keep your right toes down. Find as much length in your spine as you can. So the heart is reaching away from the heel. Gaze is down at the mat. Find your breath here. And then on your exhale, elbow to knee, round in your spine. Inhale, extend everything really long and straight. Exhale, elbow to knee, round in your spine. Inhale, extend everything long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, everything long. And then tap your hand and your knee down. One cat-cow here. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, everything curls into center. Find your neutral spine. Tap your left toes back, press into your left knuckles. Right arm extends out from your right shoulder. Right thumb is up. Maybe your balance is here today. Or you lift up through your inner left thigh, stamp your back foot firmly on the back wall. Imagine that you were doing that. Find your breath, find length in your spine. And then exhale, curl elbow to knee. Inhale, extend everything long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend everything long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend everything long. Hand and knee down. One more cat-cow. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Find a neutral spine. And then we'll come to seated. We're going to come to open across the heart a little bit more. So find your comfortable seat. Find an interlace of your hands behind your spine. And then send your interlace away. Puff up your chest. So if that's not an option for you, if you have tight shoulders, a lot of us do, you can grab your forearms and keep lifting up in your heart. And a couple more big breaths across your beautiful heart. And then we'll tuck the interlace into the left hip. So little shelf for the hip, or the interlace is on a little shelf of the hip, I should say. And then the left ear comes for the left shoulder. So just getting some space into the right side of our neck. Keep lifting up in your heart. Excuse me. On your next inhale, send your interlace back, puff up your beautiful chest, and then interlace comes into the left hip. Right hip, right ear goes to the right shoulder. So finding space along the left side of your neck. From here, release out of it. This time we'll take an interlace to the front of the body. We'll send the arms out so the elbows can have bend in them. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Keep keeping your shoulders away from your ears as you lift your arms up. This might mean you bend your elbows a whole lot. We don't want to scrunch the shoulders up by the ears. So we want to find space around the neck. Find a nice tall spine. How's your breath? From here, without slingshotting your hands, release the fingertips to your shoulders. We have our little angel wings. And then we'll start to roll the elbows in and out. So this is a different version of rolling the shoulders. So elbows come out and around and down. Keep that space around your neck. And then we'll switch the direction the other way. So elbows come out and around and down. Beautiful, my friends. So we're going to come back to the belly. We're going to keep working on our back bends. bringing energy into the body. So we're gonna come in for Superman, Superwoman. I know that you're all very mighty out there. So we'll take the arms up and overhead. Your toes are pointed back. The legs are gonna be active here. The arms are gonna be active here. So if you're lazy in your feet right now, point your toes to activate your feet. Palms are down, forehead is tapping down. And then before you lift up, get long. So we're gonna reach forward with the fingertips, back with the toes, and then lift everything up. So the heart's reaching up, the toes are reaching back. It takes a lot of strength in the back body, right? Keep looking down at your mat, so no need to crank your neck up. Find length and then find height. So reach forward and back and then lift up. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then tap everything down. Left cheek comes to the mat. Let your buns release. Let everything go. Maybe you notice a little rush or a flutter of energy. And we're going to do it again. So tap your forehead back to the mat. Find active feet, so pointing the toes back. Arms are up and overhead. Reach forward with your fingertips. Reach back with your toe tips. Find length and then lift everything up. How's your breath? Keep finding length. Send your shoulders down away from your ears if they're scrunching up there. And then on your exhale, tap everything down. Right cheek comes down to the mat. Let everything be soft and heavy. From here, tap your forehead down. We're going to do a little variation. These are going to be called swimmers. So it takes a little bit of mind-body coordination. I'll try to cue us through it as best I can. So it's going to be similar to what we did, except we're going to lift the right hand and the left foot up, reaching out first, and then reaching high, and then tap everything down. And then we'll reach with the left hand and the right foot. So it's like we're swimming, yeah? Okay, so tap everything down. As you start to lift up, right fingertips forward, left toe tips back, and then exhale, tap everything down. Inhale, left hand, right foot. Exhale, everything down. Remember to reach back and forward and then up. Right arm, left foot. Exhale, down. Inhale, left hand, right foot. Exhale, everything down. So take a few more on your own. Swimming maybe somewhere beautiful. Maybe going on a little adventure in your mind. Take 2 more each side. And then take your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Let everything release. Let your spine curl. If your hands aren't already up and above your head, take them up and above your head. Come to your little finger claws, and then we'll walk over to the right about a foot. Think about sitting back towards your left heel. Walk everything back to center. Little walk over to the left, sit back towards your right heel. Walk everything back to center and then press yourself up. We'll come onto the back. And guess what? We're going to do some more back bends. So we'll set it up for several rounds of bridge, and then we will do some moving bridges. You might also want a pillow. So if you have a pillow in your space, I'm going to grab a pillow off my couch. Have that nearby. So somewhere where you can easily grab it, off to the side of your mat or the floor. So for our bridge pose, knees are gonna bend over the ankles, and then fingertips should be able to graze your heels. So if you can't touch your heels, make sure that you pull your feet in enough that you can touch your heels. So from here, we're gonna use our leg and our bum strength. We'll start to press into the feet, lift up with the thighs on our inhale, knees point forward, and then maybe interlace your hands, tuck your shoulders. If that's not an option for you, you can press firmly down into your forearms or grab the outsides of your yoga mat if you have one, and press and lift everything up. So find a few breaths here, find space around your neck. Don't look around. If you need to look at what I'm doing, come down. Don't turn your neck in this pose. It's a little compromised. So find more length in your spine. And then exhale, set everything down. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a full breath. Maybe notice that rush of energy. We're going to do 2 more rounds. You can also sit it out or sit around out if you need. So pressing down into your feet, rise your thighs, find either your interlace or pressing down into your forearms or grabbing the outsides of your mat. Really work with the floor here. So instead of dumping into your back, press into your feet, rise your strong thigh muscles up to the sky. On your exhale, set everything down. One hand on heart, one hand on belly. Take a breath. One more like this. Press down into your feet. Rise your thighs. Find your arm position. Find breath. Use the strength of your thighs, your bum to lift up out of the shape. On your exhale, tap everything down. One hand heart, one hand belly. Take a breath. And then we're gonna come into a few movable bridge poses. So this is almost like we're a big wave in the body. Fingertips are gonna come down by your heels. As you inhale, rise everything up, including your arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, like you're a wave, a tide coming in, rest everything down. 2 more times. Inhale, rise everything up. Exhale, set everything down. Inhale, rise everything up. Exhale, set everything down. So this is where our pillow would come in handy. If you don't have a pillow, you don't need one. If you're using the pillow, take the pillow the widest way that is possible to have the pillow. Press down into your feet, rise your hips, and then slide the pillow so that it's a little shelf for your low back. And then really let your low back rest down there. If you don't have a pillow, just rest your hips down, knees stay stacked over the ankles. Take a few breaths here, maybe close your eyes. Regain control of your breath if it's a little fluttery. So finding an inhale and an exhale that match in length. And then I'm going to give us an option here. So if you feel really cozy and comfy, I would encourage you to stay here. If you want to add a little bit of play and a little bit of core strength, we're going to come to legs up the pillow, or you could take legs just up from the floor. So usually we do this pose, we're supported against the wall, but we'll just play with a little bit of belly strength here. So you can have as much bend in the backs of the legs as you need. The feet are like they're going to walk on the ceiling. Maybe you even walk on the ceiling a few times. And then we'll just rest here, using the core to hold us up. Connecting with our breath here. wherever you are, see if you can count 5 more full inhales, 5 more full exhales. Next time you exhale, let the feet come down to the earth if they're not already. If you have your hips resting on a pillow, press into your feet, rise your hips up, slide the pillow out, rest your hips down. And then from here, we'll take the feet wider than the hips. So if you have a mat, it's about the length of your mat. If you don't, a little wider than the hips. Knees come in towards one another. Fallen bridge. So this is just to neutralize the spine. Just take a couple breaths with the knees, maybe kissing or maybe reaching towards kissing. And then we're going to imagine the knees are windshield wipers. We'll just start to take the knees side to side and let it feel nice for the low back. So maybe move really slow. Maybe moderately slow, whatever feels good to you. From here, the next time the knees go over to the right, let them stay at the right. We're coming into a spinal twist. It might feel comfortable to take the arms wide like a T. It might feel good to let the hands rest on the body. Maybe close your eyes. Really let yourself take up space. Option to stay here, or if you want to add a hip stretch, you could take your right ankle up to your left thigh, just to add a little gentle pull there. And don't do it if it doesn't feel right or there's any pain in the knee. Just an option for those of you who it's available to. Settle into your breath here. If your right foot is on your left thigh, release it down. And then we'll windshield wiper to the other side. So taking the knees over to the left. Again, if you want to place your right foot on your left thigh, that's an option or not. Listen to your body. Only if it feels like it's adding more space. If it's constricting, don't do it. Maybe close the eyes here, settle into your twist, into your back release. From here, release the left foot from the right thigh if you have it there. Take your knees back up to center and then give your knees a squeeze in. So let the low back come in contact, maybe little rocks side to side. And then stop the rocking, hands come on tops of your kneecaps. Take your circles, let this be a massage for the low back. Move intuitively, so if it feels better to move slow, quickly, moderately. Switch your circling the other direction. come back to center. Give yourself one last little squeeze. And then make yourself into a comfortable position on your back. So some of us, that will be knees bent, soles of the feet down. Some of us, that will be coming into a supine position on our backs, palms out to the side. And then maybe just place both hands on your heart. So we did a lot of heart opening. It can be really vulnerable to open the heart in that way. Let the palms on the heart ground the heart down. So holding your heart with tenderness. Fill in the breath to your heart. And see if you can settle the body to relax and ground down. So we're going to take 3 finishing breaths together. We're going to breathe into the space of the heart, and then we'll exhale from the space of the heart. So let your exhale fall out. Breathing into your heart for 2, 3, 4, pause breath, 2, 3, 4, release breath, 2, 3, 4, pause out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause breath, 2, 3, 4, hold breath, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, pause out, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, and then just let the body release. Let the breath fill back in. Place your hands wherever they're the most comfortable. And then staying as you are on your back, we're just going to be here for a couple minutes taking Shavasana. If you'd be more comfortable sitting up in meditation, you could take that. But just giving ourselves and our bodies a little rest to receive the benefits of our back bend practice before we move into the rest of our day. So just allowing yourself these few minutes of rest. And I'll call us back in a couple minutes when we are ready to move along in our days. Starting to bring breath back into your body. Starting to find some small movements in your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking a full body stretch to wake yourself up back into your day. Rolling over to one side and pressing yourself up. Drawing your hands in a gesture at your heart, bowing your chin into your chest, and just notice how the space of the heart, the upper back, how that feels, if there's a little more energy in the body. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you feel a little more energized, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, yogis. Thank you, Grand Park, for having us.